Everybody, this is Dawn with Scrapbooksage. I wanted to show you my process. I've been working on some things and I wanted to share with you how it's going for me, and I think it's going pretty well. As I've talked about a little bit before, that I've started organizing my items by seasons. So I've got spring, summer, winter, or spring, summer, fall, and winter, and I wanted to show you how I've done that. So after Christmas, you know how you're going through things and you're organizing everything. Since Christmas, I've made 7 journals, 8 journals, and I wanted to have a place to organize to put things I've worked on but I might not be able to finish, but I know I'll get to, and I wanted to sort of have some type of way to organize that in my mind in a simple, practical way. So what I'm trying to do is each season is to work through one of these boxes. And I want to try to be ahead by a season. So this is my winter season. This is what was left over from winter this year of all my scraps and different projects. Some things are finished and some things aren't. So if I come across a Christmas charm or something, I'll just throw it in here. And then I keep these in my hutch, on a shelf in my hutch, so I can just sort of store it down there and not look at it. And so these are my fall items, and I was working through my spring crafts, and I tore apart a book that was more fall oriented, and I had a place to be able to put, I did these this last week or so, but I knew I could just sort of put them in with my fall items, and that seems like that had worked out pretty well. So these are good to go, that I can finish up these projects or they can be used in a journal later, and that works for me. So now I have my summer one, and this is the box that I will start using probably next week, and just organizing and trying to get these things into journals is my goal next week or in the next couple weeks. So this is where I'm at. I have finished my spring journal box like this. So it is totally done. It has embellishments that are finished. And I also have a little caddy that holds all the little pieces for me to put as I'm working on things. And you know, we all get piled up with different scraps. And I thought, well, how can I use up a lot of these little fabric pieces? And I want to start making things for my journals, you know, as we use up our scraps. So I thought, oh, this might be a fun way to do it. So I went ahead and just sewed all those little pieces onto a couple pages that will end up going into one of my journals. And I set this with my summer journals. It might be fun to put animal or something on here. And I know it will go that way. So if you're thinking about your items and you're cutting up a book, and it has a different theme in it, know that you know how you can use different things. So this was also in my spring pack. These things were in my spring pack, or in my caddy. And so when I finished it and I go, oh, I can use this later, I'm going to put it in my summer one because it has denims and jeans, and it sort of reminds me more of summer than any other season. So I have those there. I'm going to go ahead and put them down where I said I had them. And my desk is still working through things. I've been working through some book pages, tore down a lot of book pages and stuff like that too. So I feel like I'm doing a lot of projects at one time. And this is my spring box. So in the last couple weeks, I've just gone through and made all my little embellishment pieces that, like, these are a little bit more fall. They can end up going into my fall journal one. But everything that was in this little box, I went through and made embellishments. These were made before, but I've put things inside of some of them. So I'm just trying to get my ephemera pieces filled up. Like, these don't have anything in them yet, but I might find something as I'm putting these away. And I made journal cards end tags. So I might need to go through as I'm putting things into a journal and finish it up by either inking it or putting holes and fabric in it. But I tried to go through and just use the items that were in my box. And I did end up grabbing like my Project Life cards and some extra. What I found out in this process is I didn't have enough base pieces. And so the reason I'm tearing apart books is I'm going to cut down more base pieces so that I feel like I can just grab some of my little elements and put them together. Like this is almost a summer one. I know I want to use this for a project that's coming up. So it was so fun making these and knowing that I was using up, like these were off prints or extra prints, and I've started sewing them also on book pages so that I can just get a little bit ahead of the game in that process. So I've got some fabric there and that's sewn on, so that might be really cute on this page here. So, and I have organized them sort of by color themes. You could tell all these will sort of go into the same style of book. And here's another book page that's ready to go for a sewing journal. And you can tell I did a collage sheet or masterboard and then put her on top of that. And some of these pieces you've seen before, they were from the wallpaper book. And so I just had all my extra pieces of ephemera and started creating things with them, cutting out some of the book pages that I knew. Like this book page had elements on it that I didn't like. They had people who were not fully clothed or whatever. So I cut out the element that I liked and was able to use it. And then just tried to figure out how to use all the little pieces as well. So I'm not going to show you all of these, but you can see how effective it is to organize by theme. So I've got a Victorian book, and now I can do like a little fairy book and things like that. So I'm really proud of the amount of work I've gotten done doing these. No doubt you'll see a lot of these in journals coming up in the near future. And I have some that are even overflowing here. But I wanted to sort of show you that process. And so I'll probably use these up in 3 or 4 journals and I will be good to go. And I'll feel like I can start filling it up with other spring things that might come up as I process books and stuff. So the other thing that I have been doing is I've been trying to figure out what works, and I think I finally figured out what is working. So I've got 2 other big bins that have fabric in them that and they're bigger bins like this. And they're on my desk right now. I might end up putting things away and pulling them back out. But as I make little tags and stuff like that, I'm putting all my extra fabrics in this piece here. These are elements that are close to done or I can grab to help finish things up. And I have started like this. I was playing a little bit. I've started just putting all my scraps in here. So if I want to grab something, I have a variety. I find that I don't have enough scraps. This is all the scraps that I really have on my desk when it comes to paper. I'm pretty good at using my paper up. And so my goal is every month to never let this overflow. And so that's why I've been so focused on working on the elements and stuff. So by the end of this month, if this is halfway full, I'm happy with that because I know I have a little bit of room to grow to use things up. And I will, you know, use them up. So, and then these other pieces are, I do have homes where I could file all these pieces, but I've decided to see if I can use these up this month. Some of them, maybe they're worth using, maybe they're not. And but I think what I'm going to try to do is just keep this here as I use things, and I can put the pieces here. That's sort of what's on my desk. So it's not spread out on my desk. I put the little hardware elements or extra stickers here, little projects that I've worked here, some card options here, so I have some bases, and I will be making more bases. And like yesterday, what I did, my sewing machine died, so I was in the middle of a project here, is I just took, let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. I had one of those daytime books. It would, you know, you have a day timer, an old school day timer, and it had these little pages in it. So I just folded them in half and took a lot of my little elements and just made, you can tell I made a lot of different elements here. So these can either go on a bigger page, but this is, I went through and just sewed all the little pieces that were in there onto like a folded up pages of a journal book that I wasn't using anymore. So I'm trying to figure out a way that I can get through things quickly and have things readily to use. Because I love all these pieces, I just wasn't quite sure how he's going to put them together. And you get sort of overwhelmed if things don't match a whole lot. So I thought just keeping it simple, having something to work on to add one or two things to it, and I can always add more to it later. But these ended up becoming my bases. So I like the way that that turned out. And these are just extra pieces here. So this is sort of my working pile. So if I'm working on something and I can say, oh, can I use these things up? Or once I fill up a journal, I might find, gosh, these are too springy. I'm working in summer now. I can just move these to my spring file because I know that they were pretty much made with my spring items. So anyways, I hope that's helpful for you as you're organizing things. I know it's helped me out a lot, and I have spent some time working on these. And the other thing that I'm doing is I have a bigger bin over here. I'm going to be putting some stuff in the shop of just extra pieces that I know I may not use a lot of them, and just make some de-stash or variety kits later. So that's something you guys can look forward to as well. But I've been having a lot of fun doing this, and I thought that might be helpful for you. Some other things that I've made, and I'll just sort of show you, is so I've taken some book pages and made a little envelope out of it. And we have the darker book pages that not quite sure how I will use that, but I know they're there and I really like them. And then just taking some cards as well. This I made earlier last year, but I love the way that it turned out, and I know I'll use it. But it's just leftover scrapbook paper, some wallpaper here, some fabric, and that was a lot of fun putting together. So here are just a couple other pieces that I know I'll be working into different things that they may not be totally finished, but they're a good start. And this is what I was working on yesterday after my with my sewing machine. Not all the pieces are finished, so I was trying to find things that would work with these pieces. So anyways, that's what I have been working on these last couple weeks. I know I haven't had done a lot of filming. Doesn't mean I haven't been busy. I just haven't been filming it because I still have a little bit of a challenge filming my process. I just know the way that I work is not as organized, and so I will try to work on that a little bit more. I do like to organize, but when I actually craft, I'm a pretty messy crafter. and my thoughts are not very organized. So I like to sort of show you the projects afterwards. But as you can see, what I pull from is pretty random, so it's hard to find cohesive things with that. And since I do more mass makes, I don't want to bore you with a big process. But anyways, I do have some journals that are coming up that I'm looking forward to making: a balloon journal, a fairy journal, and either like a Polynesian or Hawaiian journal are a couple things. And I'm also looking forward to doing a herbal journal. So, oh, and a carousel journal. So in the next few weeks, those are some things I hope to get done. And you can be looking forward to see, I will be having some of those filmed online. So I'm right now, it's the middle of February. I'm a little bit behind schedule when it comes to making journals, but I feel like I'm ahead as far as a lot of the ephemera pieces to get there. And I really felt like I needed to break down a lot of my books because I've got great resources. I was getting bored with all the same stuff. So I had to sort of step back a little bit, see what I really wanted to work on, and then move forward so that it can be a little bit more exciting. So I do have some carousel. I had a whole carousel book that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys. And I hope to be stamping and doing, just doing some different things. So anyways, thanks for joining my channel. Go ahead and push the like and subscribe and or rumble. And I will see you guys next time. Talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.